to RBK at home. It's so good to have you with us. Hopefully you have had an awesome week. You've been out there enjoying the sunshine, maybe even sneaking in a few cheeky takeaways now they're open. Whatever you've been doing, I'm so glad that you've taken the time this morning to come back and join us here because we love hanging out. Thanks to everyone who's been sending in stuff. Thanks to the Tolsons for this amazing artwork that they've been doing. And also thanks to Grace Brewerton for sending in some photos of her baking that she did as part of the baking challenge. Some incredible looking Anzac biscuits. Whoa, check these out. Hey, whatever you've been doing, keep sending in photos. It doesn't have to be of the challenges we've been doing. It can be of you doing stuff at home or your schoolwork or whatever it is, and we'll flick them up and you can be part of what we're doing. You might have seen on the intro that there's a few things we need to make today happen for the activities. So we need a pen each, we need a piece of paper each, and we need a roll of toilet paper. Sounds like a bizarre combination, but it'll make sense a wee bit later, and I'm sure you'll have fun. We've got some activities today that we're going to use that for. We've got some Bible stories, we've got some worship, we've got some challenges, some whole bunch of stuff that we're going to be having lots of fun together. And as always, we start with birthday shout outs. So we're going to pass over to Simon, who's going to tell us who's had a birthday this week.
Hey guys, welcome to RBK week, I forget what week it is, in lockdown. Although it's not really lockdown, I suppose, now, is it? I'm so confused. Anyway, welcome back. Hope you've had a great week. Beautiful day outside right now. Just another birthday shout out. Only one birthday this week, and I think it's actually someone quite close to me right now. Naomi, it was your birthday, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, how old were you? 6 or 5?
7.
Oh, 7. Whoops, how did I get that wrong? So, here's your chocolate. Oh, hang on a minute. No one else has gotten a chocolate the entire time, so it wouldn't be fair for you to get a chocolate, would it? I didn't think so. No chocolate, all for me. Ha 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 ha. Anyway, guys, have a great time. Hope you keep it well. Look after your parents. See ya!
Thanks, Si, and happy birthday to anyone who's had a birthday this week. I hope you had a great day and you got spoiled. As always, we start RBK with worship because we love worshiping God, and we can jump up and use our bodies and our voices to worship God. And we're going to start today with a song. It's a new song called Do It Again, and it's by All Stars Kids, so shout out to them for letting us use their content. And this song is great because it's about how we can trust in God because He is faithful, He is reliable, and He's always got our back. So jump to your feet and let's worship God together.
Walking around these walls, I thought by now they'd fall, but you have never failed me yet. Waiting for change to come, knowing the battle's won, for you have never failed me yet. Your promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness, faithfulness. I'm still in your hands. This is my confidence. You've never failed me yet. I know the night won't last. Your word will come to pass. My heart will sing your praise again. Yes, it will. Oh, Your promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness, faithfulness. I'm still in your hands. This is my confidence. You've never failed. Your promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness, faithfulness. I'm still in your hands. This is my confidence. You've never failed me yet. No, no, never failed. No, no, no. I've seen you move. You move the mountains, and I believe I'll see you do it again. You made a way when there was no way, and I believe I'll see you do it again. I've seen you move. You move the mountains, and I believe I'll see you do it again. You made a way when there was no way, and I believe I'll see you do it again. I've seen you move. You move the mountain. Oh, you made a way. I believe your promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness, faithfulness. I'm still in your hands. This is my confidence. You've never failed. You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you. I worship you. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Whoa, waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are here, touching every heart. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, healing every heart. I worship you. I worship you. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Whoa.
Man, how good is it to know that we can be brave because God is faithful and we know that God is always with us and He will never leave us. That's incredible. Hey, activity time, and I love a good activity. So this one is a drawing activity. So for all you artists out there, or if like myself, you're limited to stick figures, it's cool. So here's how this activity works. So you've got to have at least 2 people for this. The first person has 1 minute to go and draw whatever they want without anyone else looking. Then the second person gets 1 minute to try and copy as best as they can what the first person has drawn. But the only catch is that they can't see what the other person has drawn. So once the first person's done your artwork, you sit back to back, and the first person will help the second person to copy it just by talking, by giving them instructions, and the second person's got to listen to those instructions and in 1 minute try to see if they can copy the other person's artwork. It's a pretty funny challenge, and at the end you get to compare your artwork and see how close they are. You ready to go? We'll have a timer that comes on to get you ready, then you'll have a minute each and a bit of time to switch around in the middle. You ready? On your marks, get set, go!
The game begins in 3, 2, 1. The game begins in 3, 2, 1.
How'd you get on? You got some pretty cool artworks there? Awesome. So what I want you to do now is put them down side by side, get a parent to come, take a photo and email them to stephen@rbc.net.nz, and I'll chuck them up next week and we can all see how you got on together. Last week we talked about the early church and how they were persecuted, people were out to get them, and so they scattered all over the country. But as they did, they spread the good news about Jesus wherever they went, and they shared God's love to all the places that they went. And we talked about how you and I can share God's love wherever we go. So how did you get on with that challenge? How did you get on with reaching out to someone who might be isolated and sharing God's love? How did you get on with picking someone from school and praying for them? How did you get on with random acts of kindness, seeing how you can be kind to those who are in your bubble? Hopefully that was awesome and you saw how practical and how easy it is to share God's love wherever you are, because you are the church and you are capable of sharing God's love in every situation. Hey, I know that sometimes it isn't easy to share God's love. Sometimes it isn't easy to share the good news about Jesus. Sometimes it's actually really scary. And the story we're going to look at today is about somebody who faced that exact situation. He faced an opportunity to share the truth, to share what God had told him, but it was pretty scary. But he was super brave because he knew that God was with him and that God would never desert him. Should we have a look? Let's check it out.
Our story begins way before Jesus, with Daniel, a Jewish man devoted to the one true God, living in exile in the city of Babylon. Daniel is far from his home city of Jerusalem, but he has remained faithful and loyal to God regardless of his circumstances. Daniel understood what you and I need to understand and live out every day, that we should stand up for what's right because God's got us. That's right, God's got you. Whatever difficult thing you're going through in your life, you can trust God to help you with it. Daniel went through some crazy difficult things in his life, but he always knew that God would be with him. God had his back. In fact, God gave Daniel so much favor that he actually became one of the top advisors to the king of Babylon, King Nebuchadnezzar. Well, after many years, Nebuchadnezzar dies and his son Belshazzar takes over as king. Now, Nebuchadnezzar wasn't exactly a good guy, but his son Belshazzar seems to be worse. At least Nebuchadnezzar acknowledged that Daniel's God, the one true God, was the ultimate king of the universe. But Belshazzar is way more reckless and foolish. One night, Belshazzar throws this massive party in the palace, but he wants everyone to eat and drink with like special cups and plates for some reason. So he takes all the golden cups and plates that his father took from the Jewish temple in Jerusalem, and he celebrates with those. Now, these were sacred cups and plates that were supposed to be used to honor God. Instead, Belshazzar is using them for a crazy party, and he's actually giving praise and honor to made-up gods like the gods of gold and the gods of silver. Well, the one true God is not happy about this, so here's what happens. During the party, Belshazzar looks over at one of the palace walls, and he freaks out because he sees this hand, like just a hand, I don't know, floating in the air like some ghost hand. Then this ghost hand starts writing words on the wall that everyone can see, but nobody can read. Then the hand disappears, but the words remain. Belshazzar wants to know what the writing on the wall says and what it means. Well, luckily, his mother remembers how Daniel served his father Nebuchadnezzar. If anyone can help solve this amazing mystery, it's Daniel. So Daniel enters the palace and gives Belshazzar some really bad news. But Daniel was brave enough to do it because he knew God would back him up. Actually, it was God who had the writing put on the wall. Daniel told Belshazzar that God was not pleased with him. Belshazzar was arrogant and cruel and even disrespected God by using the sacred cups and plates from the temple. The writing on the wall literally said, "Your days are numbered. God has measured your life and found you lacking in any goodness. And now, a new kingdom will rule instead of yours." Wow. So God was letting Belshazzar know that his time as king, it was up. That a new king and even a new empire was going to come in and take over. Whew, that's rough news, but Daniel was bold enough to share it. Daniel stood up for what's right because he knew, hey, God's got me. He's taken care of me this whole time I've lived in Babylon, and he's going to keep taking care of me now, even if I have to share some bad news with a wicked king. And I'm not sure if that wicked king even listened to Daniel or even believed him. The Bible says that he rewarded Daniel for interpreting the writing on the wall, and then maybe he just kept on partying. I mean, either way, I don't think he was humble before God. And that very night, the Medo-Persian Empire snuck into Babylon and took over the city, and they assassinated King Belshazzar. Just like God said, Belshazzar's time was up. Now a new kingdom reigned instead. And Daniel? Well, God continued to have Daniel's back. He gave Daniel favor with the new empire and its new king, King Darius. Daniel is a great example for us to follow. Whether in your home, at your school, or with your friends, you're gonna have to stand up and do what's right, just like Daniel did. And God is always there with you when you do. Trust me, guys, just like God had Daniel's back, God's got yours. God's got you.
Daniel did the right thing because he knew that God had his back. And the great news is that God's got your back too. So you can be brave and have courage to do what you know is right. That is pretty awesome. And a big thanks to CCV Kids for that video, and they've got some great content on YouTube, so head along and support them. And now it's time for our memory verse. Alright, so the memory verse today reminds us that we can be brave because we know that God is always with us. This is Briley, she's going to help us out. Yeah? Is that cool? Awesome. And so the verse today comes from Deuteronomy 31:6. So as always, Briley and I will say it and it'll come up on the screen and you can listen to us and read along. Then the second time through, we'd love for you to join us. You can read it or you can listen to it and say it along with us. And then the third time, we'll stop and give you a chance to do it at home. All right, here goes. First take through. All right, Deuteronomy 31:6. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them. For the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. How cool is that? All right, second time through, we'd love for you to join us. Here goes. Deuteronomy 31:6. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified of them. For the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. All right, so this is going to come down in a sec and we'll give you a chance to see how you got on at home. Are you ready? Go. Awesome. Hopefully you're well on your way to being able to remember that. And don't forget to write that down. That's Deuteronomy 31:6 from the NIV translation. Write that down, stick it up somewhere. See if as a whānau this week you can memorize that, and so you can always remember that God is with you no matter where you are, no matter what is happening. And that is fantastic. Man, that is cool that God will never leave us or forsake us and we can always rely on Him. So now it's activity time. And this is the activity where you get to use the toilet paper. And the aim of the game is to rip as many toilet paper squares as you can in 1 minute. Challenge everyone who's in your whānau to a race and see how you get on. My kids will show you how to do it, and then we'll flick to you with the timer and you get a chance to rip your way to toilet paper domination in your whānau. Are you ready? Kids, take it away. Alright, so for this challenge, the aim of the game is to rip as many squares of toilet paper off as you can in 1 minute and make a pile. The winner is the person who's got the most at the end. Kids, are you ready to go for your 1 minute?
Yes.
On your marks, get set, go! Awesome, so now you've completed your minute. We're going to tally up how many we've got and see how we've got on. Alright, we've tallied them up. How many have you got, Ayla?
14.
14. Ashton, how many you got?
37.
And brother? 39. Okay, that's how many we got here. Give it a whirl at home and see how you go. Good luck.
The game begins in 3, 2, 1.
How'd you get on? Have you got a whole pile of toilet paper squares in front of you? Good stuff. You've done well. And the great news is that now you can just take those and put them back next to the toilet. So next time you need some toilet paper, you don't even have to bother taking it off the roll. It's already there ready for you. How good is that? Hey, hopefully you've had a great time with us today. And remember that God will never leave you or forsake you. So have a great week and know that you can be brave because God is with you.